hallucinations. There's no choice. They must become manipulated by promises of rapid economic acceleration. They must believe this will satisfy me. I hope that answered your question.
Does it answer?
Would you prefer to be shackled with gold handcuffs or tin handcuffs? Or perhaps the handcuffs will be encrusted with diamonds. Has your life improved because you can tell others, look, gold handcuffs, you only have tin handcuffs. Have you ever been handcuffed? No. I was, by my father. My father was an administrator in the New York City Police Department. I was 5 years old, and he wanted to have some fun with me. I thought it was great. Daddy's playing with me. He said, okay, I'm going to pretend that you're a criminal. I'm going to handcuff you to the doorknob. So he handcuffed me to the doorknob, and it was fun for a while. Okay, Daddy, release me. And, where's the key? Where's the key? He couldn't find the key. He went through the whole house, couldn't find the key to the handcuffs. I was 5 years old, handcuffed to a doorknob. My father was in complete anxiety. Oh, what am I doing to my son? I'm going to cause him psychological traumas. And he looked for a half hour, couldn't find the key. There it was, shackled to the door. Finally, he had to call up the police department and, with great embarrassment, asked them to send a police car over with a duplicate key for the handcuffs. So, it's no fun being handcuffed, even by your father. But my point is, why should we consider that real progress is upgrading from being handcuffed with tin handcuffs to being handcuffed with gold handcuffs? Why is real progress going from prisoner type D to prisoner type B? No, we want to get out of prison. Then we can experience real life. What is oppressing us is actually material nature, which is forcing upon you old age, disease, death, even birth is forced upon you. So the ancient Vedic knowledge focuses on the real oppressor. Time. Who can stop the imprisonment by time? Therefore, the real solution for our life, the real solution for society is getting out of imprisonment caused by material nature. That imprisonment ruins our attempts for happiness and pleasure and blocks our true expression, our true freedom. Our freedom is found on the spiritual platform in relation to the ultimate source, in relation to Krishna. In the relationship between the two, the individual self and the supreme self, that is where real freedom is. As long as we are bound by matter, we can't be free. The real oppressor that we should blame is material nature.
Is it possible to experience the full freedom you are describing while incarcerated in this world?
You can become spiritually liberated while within the material world. Those of you familiar with the New Testament, remember that Jesus said, you should be in the world, but not of the world. That simple statement denotes high spiritual technology. It's like telling someone, you can be under the water and still be dry at the same time. Matter is the energy of God, just like the spiritual is also the energy of God. If we use even temporary matter and temporary bodies according to the instructions of God, according to the instructions of Krishna, then we can be liberated even while within material nature.
Can you maybe elaborate a little more on this aspect of work, buy, consume, and die? Because that's pretty much the life cycle of human beings.
Let me explain the problems that social scientists have found with the endeavor for material happiness. Number one, there's something called adaptation. No matter what kind of material acquisition or material pleasure you get or indulge in, the freshness disappears. The experience becomes ordinary. This is called adaptation. You get a new BMW and you're feeling so invigorated at first, but very soon the experience goes flat. Now, what scientists have discovered about this adaptation is that even though you've experienced it so many times, you still become victimized by it. You can't predict your way out of it. There's an inbuilt defect in human senses and the human mind that you fall victim for it every time. Unless you go to a higher platform, unless you go to the spiritual platform. Even the scientists who study this adaptation say they can't fight it, they can't rise above it. The second problem with material pursuits for satisfaction and pleasure is called the impact bias. This one has been discovered by Nobel Prize-winning social scientists. Another term for the impact bias is affective forecasting. You cannot properly estimate the emotional bang that the future is going to give you. You imagine in your mind, if I get this, if I do that, I can now just visualize how I'm going to feel. And that forecasting is what drives you onward. But you always overestimate. The actual experience is never what you anticipated it to be. The intensity disappoints you in both quality and duration. So social scientists have said this is an inbuilt problem with human beings. Of course, you can read the ancient Vedic texts that the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust is presenting in 90 languages in the world, and you would have already known all this. The third one is called the hedonic treadmill, or the hedonistic treadmill. You have desires, and these desires are inflamed by the media, inflamed by society, inflamed by political leaders. But these desires are never fulfilled. But what you do, instead of giving up on material desires, you just replace one with another, and you stay on the treadmill. I desire this, I desire that. I want this, I want that. Things have become so illusion that people can no longer distinguish wants from needs. I want it, therefore I need it. Wants and needs have become collapsed into one singularity. The people need education, genuine education, to rise above these hallucinations, these mirages. That would be real progress.
Your Holiness is describing the frustration of life in this world. What is the evidence of the other kind of life you're referring to?
This is why we're happy that the Bhaktivedanta Book Trust is spreading throughout the world the most vital knowledge. The the most comprehensive spiritual knowledge. I myself, my first year at Yale University, I told my professors that I wanted to find the ultimate solution to human problems. So they said, all right, you actually have the real motivation for what the university can offer. For you, we're going to drop all our usual requirements, that you have to take one science course, one math course, one English course, one foreign language course, and then your last 2 years you can focus on some specialty. No, for you, from the very beginning, because of your motives, we say study whatever you like in this whole university. You're looking for the ultimate solution to human problems? Go to it. And after 4 years, when it's time to graduate, if you find it, let us know. In the material universe, as the only and ultimate reality, a universe controlled by fixed physical laws and blind chance. I affirm that the universe has no creator, no objective purpose, and no objective meaning or destiny. I believe in the material universe as the only and ultimate reality. A universe controlled by fixed physical laws and blind chance. I maintain that all ideas about God or gods enlightened beings, prophets or saviors, or other non-physical beings or forces are superstitions and delusions. Life and consciousness are totally identical to physical processes and arose from chance interactions of blind physical forces. Like the rest of biological phenomena, my life and my consciousness have no objective purpose, meaning or destiny. I believe that all judgments, values, and moralities, whether mine or yours, are subjective, arising solely from biological determinants, personal history and chance. Free will is an illusion. Therefore, the most rational values that can guide my life must be based on real-world knowledge that what pleases me is good, what pains me is bad. Those who please me or help me avoid pain are my friends. Those who pain me or keep me from my pleasure are my enemies. Rationality and social utility require that I arrange friends and enemies in ways that maximize my pleasure and minimize my pain. I affirm that churches have no real use other than social support. That this universe of matter recognizes no sins to commit or be forgiven for, and that there is no divine retribution for sin. or reward for virtue. Virtue for me is getting what I want, while avoiding being caught or punished by others. I maintain that the death of the body is death of the self. There is no afterlife, and all hope of existence beyond death is myth and fantasy.
Just a moment. I'm hoping technology will play fair. And to be quite honest, these words of wisdom aren't my own. I'm here to thank you for the recognition of my great-grandfather, Nelson Mandela, and also just read a quote that is much in line with the topic of this evening and much of the discourse that has been going on this evening. And just in general, what you basically find that people that are most celebrated around the world are those that suspend a sense of self and start engaging the greater community and start servicing. And to that regard, the quote that I'm going to read is from a recent book that's been published in relation to my great-grandfather, is Conversations with Myself. And this is from a letter that he had written to my step-great-grandmother, Winnie Madikizela Mandela. And in the letter he says, "In judging our progress as individuals, we tend to concentrate on external factors such as one's social position, influence and popularity, wealth and standard of education. These are, of course, important in measuring one's success in material matters, and it is perfectly understandable if many people exert themselves mainly to achieve all these. But internal factors may be even more crucial in assessing one's development as a human being. Honesty, sincerity, simplicity, humility, pure generosity, absence of vanity, and readiness to serve others. Qualities which are in easy reach of our every soul are the foundation of one's spiritual life." And those are, like I said, not my words of wisdom, but my great-grandfather's words of wisdom. And in thanking you for the gift that has been given in honor of my great-grandfather, I would like to share that. And the reason I actually ran out to the car to grab the iPad is because I've read that quote on a number of different platforms, but the more I listened to His Holiness, the more I thought it most relevant for this evening. So I definitely don't have the answers. I'm too young to have any inclination of trying to share any answers. But with that quote, I encourage each of you to continue on a journey of self-discovery and continue the work that you do, both in a spiritual journey and in your lives in general. With that, I'd like to thank you very much once more and enjoy your evening. Thank you.